season replays, fantasy drafts, ultimate created leagues, and what if tournaments. It's Coffee Cup Games with the coach, DKM. All right, continuing the playoffs, we are now going to do game fours of the first round playoffs in both the American and National League. We will be doing a kind of like a Clipper style where we just kind of like give a game recap and then any games that are the decisive games where somebody has a chance to win it, we will give a little bit more of a highlight reel. So in this case, in this episode, we'll have 7 recaps, 1 highlight. But let's look at the American League. We have in the top half of the bracket the number 1 Chicago Invaders leading the series over the number 8 Indianapolis Millers. All these games will be at the higher seed or the worst team, the second team listed. So Indianapolis will be home for both games 4 and game 5s. In the other game in the top half of the bracket, we have Detroit Wolverines leading the series 2-1 over the Milwaukee Creams. In the bottom half of the bracket, we actually have the higher seed, the worst seeded team, leading the series. So in the bottom half, we have the number 6 Kansas City Blues leading the series over the Cleveland Babes 2-1. And the story in both the American and the National League, we have the number 7 seed leading the series over the number 2 seed. So in the American League, we have the Buffalo Bulls leading the series 2-1 over the Indianapolis Hoosiers. In the National League, we have only one team, the game that we will actually highlight later. We have the Brooklyn Superbas, the number 1 seed, with a chance to sweep the number 8 New York Giants as Brooklyn leads 3-0. And the Pittsburgh Pirates lead their series versus the Chicago Orphans 2-1. So in both the American and the National League, the 4 seed is winning the series against the 5 seed, the closest seeded games. In the bottom half of the bracket, we have St. Louis Cardinals leading the series 2-1 over the Philadelphia Phillies. And then, like we had already mentioned in the last game of the National League, we have the Cincinnati Red Stockings, the number 7 seed, leading the number 2 Boston Bean Eaters. And the games for today in the American League during the day, we will have first Cleveland and Kansas City, as Kansas City will be the home team. And then the second daytime game will be Detroit visiting Milwaukee. At night, we're going to have the Chicago Invaders traveling to the Indianapolis Millers, and then the Indianapolis Hoosiers will be visiting the Buffalo Bulls. In the American League, we will have during the day St. Louis visiting Philadelphia, and then we will have Pittsburgh visiting Chicago Orphans. At night, we will have the Brooklyn Superbas visiting the New York Giants, and then the Boston Bean Eaters visiting the Cincinnati Red Stockings. And before we jump into the recaps, let's go ahead, if you could, be so kind to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Always like to feel your love, that you're committed to the channel. And also, I like your feedback, so I appreciate anything you can do, but we're not here for that. We're here about the game, so let's see what happened. And as mentioned, our first game will be during the day. It will be Kansas City Blues, the number 6 seed, hosting the number 3 Cleveland Babes. Kansas City is leading the series 2-1. On the mound, for Cleveland, we will have right-hander Bill Hart. He went 21-13 during the regular season. He had a very, very good 2.14 ERA. He started 39 games. He had 108 walks while striking out 77. During the playoffs, he did win his first game. He has actually pitched in 2 games. He has a 1.80 ERA. As mentioned, he started 1 game. He's pitched 10 innings. Allowed only 8 hits while walking 4 and striking out 1. For Kansas City, they will have Dale Gear, the right-hander. He went 19-11 during the regular season. He did have 6 saves, very respectful 2.54 ERA. Started 32 games, walked 66, and struck out 50. He is 0-1 in the playoffs. He has a 3.38 ERA. It was a start when he pitched already. He has pitched 8 innings, allowed 9 hits, walked 2, and struck out 2. All right, so game 4 for Cleveland and Kansas City just concluded. Very, very interesting game. Dale Gear got hurt for Kansas City, the pitcher, in the first inning, so they had to bring in a new pitcher, Gibbons. Kansas City has zero bullpen. I mean, they're complete doo-doo. Maybe they might have one of the worst bullpens out there in the year 1900, but they have some good starters. They have really, really bad guys after that. So they have maybe 3 good pitchers and then about 4 bad ones. They have one guy who's kind of in the middle. That happened to be Gibson. Gibson started off pretty well when he came in. Cleveland, on the other hand, it was about errors, miscues, mistakes, errors, miscues, mistakes. They end up having 7 errors in the game. A lot of those happened in the first few innings, which resulted in Kansas City getting 2 runs in the bottom of the third, 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth. Cleveland did respond in the top of the fifth with 2 runs, making it 4-2. Kansas City responded with a run of their own in the bottom half of the inning. So going into the 6th inning, it was 5-2 Kansas City. It looked like they might be taking the series 3-1, but then Gibbons, who came in for long relief, his arm started to let him down, and Cleveland jumped all over him. They ended up getting 4 runs in the inning, taking a 6-4 lead. Kansas City did get a run back in the bottom half of the inning, and so it was 6-5 after 6. In the bottom of the 8th, now with new pitchers in, Kansas City ended up getting a run back, so 6-5 entering the 9th. Nope, it was 6-6 entering the 9th inning. And then Cleveland just went off and got 5 runs in the top of the 9th. Kansas City did get a couple runs back. I think they got 1 run back, but it was definitely not enough, as at the end of the day, Cleveland ended up winning 11-7. Even though they had 7 errors in the game, their bats came through, and Kansas City pitching got exposed for having no relief pitching. So it was a combination of Cleveland's bats coming alive in the last part of the game, and Kansas City really, their bad bullpen was probably the big factor of the game. So the series is now tied 2-2. All right, game 4 between the American League first round series of the number 4 versus the number 5. Always a good series when you have 2 seeds that close together. This will be the number 4 Detroit Wolverines traveling and playing against the home team, the number 5 Milwaukee Creams. Detroit currently leads the series 2-1. On the mounds for the Detroit Wolverines, we have the right-hander Jack Cronin. Jack Cronin had a very, very good regular season in our replay. He had 110 strikeouts, one of the top in the league. He had a very good 2.74, won over 20 games. And in the playoffs, he probably had the second best performance out of every pitcher so far, going a complete game, only allowing 1 run, 4 hits, 2 walks. Unfortunately for Jack Cronin and the Detroit Wolverines, it was against the guy who had the best performance in the postseason, Rube Waddell, the Hall of Famer, who got the complete game shutout. So Jack Cronin had a disappointing loss, even though he pitched brilliantly. He's going against Tully Sparks, who has not started yet. He had a good regular season, 18 wins, 3.37 ERA. He also was one of the top in strikeouts with 96 during the regular season. So this should be a good matchup of strikeout pitchers. So let's just see what happens and check out the game. Well, Detroit and Wolverines game 4 was a one-sided affair. Wasn't even close. This is just dreadful for me as the manager from Milwaukee. Jack Cronin, who we had already mentioned, had started game 1. Got a loss, though. He only gave up 1 run and only like 4 hits or something like that. Was just, if not better, in this game. He went the full game, 9 innings, gave up 6 hits, did not allow any runs, walked only 1, and struck out 2. But Milwaukee, we just couldn't get anything going against Cronin, but we also struggled early. Detroit got a run in the 2nd. They got 2 runs in the 3rd. They got 2 runs in the 4th. They added a run in the fifth. During those first 5 innings, they had 13 hits, and we had committed, as Milwaukee, we committed 5 errors. So Detroit jumped up 6-0, based on great hitting and poor defense, and Jack Cronin was just amazing as Detroit ended up ultimately winning this one 6-0. They now lead the series 3-1 with a chance to win the series on the road in Game 5. In the past, we did all the American League games, did the 2-day games, and then we did the 2-night games, then we went National League's 2-day games and their 2-night games. This time we're going to do all 4 of the day games and then all 4 of the night games. We'll do the American League first and then the National League. But our Game 4 for the National League, their daytime game, the first one that we're going to be doing, is between the number 3 and the number 6 seed. We have the Philadelphia Phillies, the number 6 seed, will be at home hosting the number 3 St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals lead the series 2-1. On the mound, we have the best pitcher by far in the majors during our replay. He did not have a winning record, though, during the original year 1900, one of the only seasons that happened, if not the only. But the starter for the Cardinals will be right-hander Cy Young, who would have won the award, the Cy Young Award, his own namesake, if we were giving that out. But he had 31 wins, by far the most in the majors. Nobody, I think, had above 25 besides him. He went 31-11. He had 3 saves, a 2.54 ERA. He started 31 games. He led the league with 126 strikeouts, and he walked only 52 with an incredible ratio there. He did start a game already. He went 8 innings. He struck out 2, allowed 11 hits, walked 2. He did have a 5.40 ERA coming out of that game, but did not earn a decision. For the Phillies, we have Al Orth, the right-hander. He went 16-6, had 2 saves, a respectful 3.31 ERA, started 31 games, struck out 82, and walked only 60. He did start a game already going 8 innings. He struck out 1, gave up 13 hits, walked 1, but had a much lower ERA of 2.35 in his matchup. But again, he too did not earn a decision. So let's see what happens in the game. Game 4 was a wild and crazy one between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies. There are times when you do these replays, you root for certain players, root for certain teams. I root for some players on the Cardinals. I like them to be successful. Cy Young, one of my all-time favorites. I have the all-time greatest teams as well as the Hall of Fame set in both the cards and the computer version. Always tend to draft Cy Young. Love to pitch with Cy Young. Like Jesse Burkett, Mike Donlin, the power hitter, was quite a surprise during this replay of how much I really enjoy him. But I tend to root for the Phillies, a little bit more biased toward them. I am from Lancaster, PA. Just to make sure you hear this, it is Lancaster and it's PA. You do not say Lancaster and you do not say Pennsylvania. If you say Pennsylvania or you say Lancaster, you sound like a moron and a foreigner. So if you ever go visit the Amish and the Mennonites, please say Lancaster and say PA. But I am from Lancaster, and I do root for the Phillies. They are not my favorite team. That would be the Red Sox, and they are by far my favorite team. But Phillies, I really do enjoy, in this replay especially. They have Elmer Flick, Nap Lajoie, and Ed Delahunty, 3 great Hall of Fame hitters, all got on base a lot, all with great speed, all good defense. The Phillies' weakness is their pitching during the year 1900, but they do have Al Orth, their best pitcher today. So I thought it would be a good game going against the enormously great Cy Young. But here's what happened in the game. Cardinals jump up with an early run in the first. We respond in the first. It's 1-1. Top of the second. Cardinals get 2 runs. They're leading 3-1. We don't have an answer. Enter the 5th inning. They don't score. Still 3-1. Bottom half of the 5th, we get 5 runs. Only 2 of those were earned as the Cardinals' defense was absolutely dreadful, especially during this inning. And we end up having a lead now of 6-3. So it is now 6-3. and we enter the top of the sixth. They get a run back, making it 6-4. We respond with a run in the bottom half of the sixth, making it 7-4. Then in the top of the seventh, they score 2 runs on a couple of our errors, and so now they are trailing 7-6. So we still have a lead 7-6. We enter the ninth inning. They tie the game in the top of the ninth. It is 7-7. Enter the bottom. We get a guy on, 1 out. He gets on air, pass a wild pitch, goes to second. We then have a guy up. He hits the ball, goes to John McGraw, who, if you remember, had a chance to win it and then struck out. This time, John McGraw makes a critical error, allowing the runner to score on his mishap. So we end up winning it on John McGraw's error. 8-7 is the final, and the series is now tied 2-2. In the game, there were 6 errors, a total of 12 errors, 6 by each team. Surprising that Phillies made that many errors. Not surprised the Cardinals did. But Cy Young only lasted 5 innings, gave up 11 hits. 6 runs were on him, only 3 were earned. Al Orth went the distance. He gave up 12 hits, 7 runs, only 3 of those were earned. So defense became a big factor in this game, giving up a big runs for us and the Phillies in the 5 runs that we scored in the 5th, and then again the game-winning run in the bottom of the 9th. So that's the game. Series is now tied 2 apiece. All right, game 4 between the Pirates and the Orphans. We have Pittsburgh currently leading the series 2-1. Game 4 will be in Chicago. Let's see who's going to be on the mound for each team. For the Pirates, we have Deacon Philippe, the right-hander, and Ned Garvin for Chicago, also a right-hander. Both pitchers would like to forget their previous starts, even though Philippe did come out with a win. During the regular season, Philippe was 17-12, had 5 saves, had a good 2.92 ERA, started 35 games, struck out 63 while only walking 38. As mentioned, he did get a win in his first start, but he had a 6.43 ERA in those seven innings pitched. He struck out 4, but he allowed 13 hits and 1 walk. Definitely not the performance that he would have liked to have done, though he is happy with the win. Ned Garvin went 14-10 during the regular season, 0 saves, 2.40 ERA, very good ERA in our replay. He started 31 games, struck out 85 while walking only 53. Both pitchers have a good strikeout to walk ratio. Garvin, like Philippe, wishes he could take that first game back. He lasted only 5 innings. He did strike out 3, like Philippe, happy with the strikeout number, but he gave up 9 hits, walked 1. So when you look at the strikeouts, the hits, the walks, just both pitchers probably are not happy with the performance, except for maybe the strikeouts. So who knows what's going to happen in this game if pitchers are actually going to be able to step up. Philippe versus Garvin. So let's see what ended up happening in the game. All right, game 4 between the Pirates and the Orphans. Good game. A lot of missed opportunities. Defense did not play as big of a factor in this in critical situations. Both teams did make 4 errors, though. Pittsburgh got a run in the top of the second. Immediately, we responded to Chicago with a run in the bottom half of the second. And then Pirates got 2 runs in the top of the third, making it 3-1. We responded back with a run in the bottom of the sixth, so it was 3-2. And then the top of the 8th, Pittsburgh put it away with 2 runs, making the game and the finale 5-2. So Pittsburgh now leaves the series 3-1. Biggest takeaway was a lot of missed opportunities. Pirates went 2 for 13 with runners in scoring positions. Chicago, I think, in every one of the first 4 innings had a runner on third base. Only one time were they able to get a runner across home plate. And the same thing happened later up in the game. But Chicago missed opportunities, not nearly as many as Pirates. In my opinion, the right team won in this game. The Pirates had 11 hits versus the Chicago Orphans 8 hits. Deacon Philippe struck out 5 for the Pirates, allowed 2 runs, neither of which were earned. Garvin, he pitched a complete game. Unlike Philippe, Philippe went 7 innings, and then they brought in Chespro for the save, the Hall of Famer. But Garvin, he went 9 innings, allowed 11 hits, gave up 5 runs, 4 of which were earned, and he walked 2. But overall, it was a good game. Better team definitely won. Missed opportunities for both teams, but Pittsburgh ends up winning it and now lead the series 3-1. All right, so now to the night games. We have our first night game of the episode. We have the game 4 between the number 1 Chicago Invaders going against number 8 Minneapolis Millers. Chicago does lead the series 2-1, winning both games easily at home and then losing the first game at Minneapolis. So Minneapolis has won their home game, hoping to continue that moving forward. On the mounds, we have the game 1 starter, Jack Cattol. I may have lied about the last game. The second best pitching performance might have been Jack Cattol. He was, if not the best, one of the top 3 for sure. He went a complete game. He struck out 3. He only allowed 2 hits. He did give up 2 runs, but as you can tell, had a great first game, a great season with his ERA, strikeouts, won 16 games. So the best pitcher by far for Chicago. For Minneapolis, this was not who the computer had in the computer manager as the next guy in the rotation, but we changed it. We went with Harvey Bailey. Took a big risk here. He's a left-hander. He was fresh because he only pitched 1 inning in his first game, where he gave up 6 runs in the first inning, allowing 5 hits, 1 walk. They just completely torched him. Game was over early against Bailey, but it is what it is. So we're going to give him another shot. Hopefully the left-hander can confuse the hitters. So let's see what happened in the game. All right, so game 4 of the American League first round series between the number 1 Chicago Invaders and the number 8 Minneapolis Millers just concluded. This was not like some of the other game 4s where defense mistakes changed the game. It was not a pitching duel, which I thought one of the pitchers might do well, particularly Jack Cattol after his game 1 performance of only giving up 2 hits in a complete game. It wasn't a lot of power hits. It just was one team getting runs in clumps and the other one just getting runs little by little. Kind of reminded of like the tortoise and the hare, but in this situation, the tortoise lost and the hare won. So here's what ended up happening. In the top of the 3rd, Chicago got 3 runs. Minneapolis got 1, so it was 3-1. Minneapolis got another run in the 4th, making it 3-2, and then Chicago jumped up with another 3 runs, making it 6-2. Minneapolis, in the bottom of the 5th, got 2 more runs, making it 6-4. Chicago did add another run in the top of the 6th, and that was pretty much all it took for Chicago, excuse me, as they ended up winning 5-2 and now lead the series 3-1. Jack Cattol only went 5 innings. He gave up 4 earned runs. Bailey, the guy that I went with, the left-hander, the southpaw that I decided to go with, did not do as well as I would have hoped. He went 6 innings, gave up 12 hits, 6 earned runs. He gave it up 7 actually runs, but only 6 of them were earned. He did strike out 2. I guess the good thing is he lowered his ERA from like a 54 down to like a 13.5. So that might have been the best thing about it. Player of the game was Sugden, the catcher for Chicago. He went 3 for 4. He had 2 RBIs. He had 2 runs scored. That was pretty much how it all played out. Nothing beyond that. Chicago, number 1 seed, now is up 3-1. So looks like it's theirs to win if they can continue in the path that they're taking. All right, game 4 between the number 2 Indianapolis Hoosiers going against the hosting number 7 Buffalo Bulls. The Bulls are currently winning the series 2-1 in what could be an upset, a major upset, with the number 7 team possibly beating the number 2 seeded team. On the mound for the Hoosiers, we have Win Kellum, the left-hander, and for Buffalo, we have Dan Kerwin, also a left-hander. So it was a battle of the southpaws during regular season. Win Kellum did have 20 wins, only 12 losses. He had a 2.28 ERA, adding on 7 saves. He started 39 games. I think he's the pitcher with the most starts for the Hoosiers. He struck out 85 and walked 95. He did pitch 8 innings already in the playoffs with a start. He does have a 3.38 ERA. Dan Kerwin, the southpaw, actually had just an average record, but he was still one of the better pitchers for the Bulls. He went 13-13. He had a 2.76 ERA. He did start 32 games. He has pitched 6 innings in the playoffs, giving up 3 runs. In those 6 innings, he allowed 8 hits and walked only 1. But this is a really important game. It has a chance for the Hoosiers to go ahead and tie it up at 2 games apiece, or Buffalo could take a huge 3-1 advantage and putting Indianapolis on the ropes ready for the knockout. So let's see what happened. All right, this game was just, crazy. I mean, I came out of there going like, what just happened? This game was critical. It's game 4. Buffalo, the number 7 seed, is leading the series 2-1 over the number 2 seed, Indianapolis Hoosiers. So Indianapolis desperately needs a win to tie the series up, which is going to look a lot better than being down 3-1, and Buffalo having another home game then to clinch the series. So this was a crucial game for Indianapolis. But here's the way it all went down. Just a wild game. Buffalo, us, who I was managing, we take a quick 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first, but then Indianapolis right away responds, getting their own run. But then we answer back, getting another run in the bottom of the second, so it's 2-1. And then we get in the 3rd inning. Our pitcher, Dan Kerwin, I mean, besides that one run, he's been pitching really well. Not like guy's been on base. But then all of a sudden he gets hurt, so we got to bring in a new pitcher who actually pitched pretty well for the most part. But in the 5th inning, Hoosiers have 2 runners on, and their second base, Magoon, hits a 3-run home run. Now, that's just odd because it was a legit batter's card home run. He needed a 1. I think he got a 2. Comes down to the play at the wall. He gets that in his advantage. And so it was a legit home run on his card. But Magoon only had 1 home run originally in the year 1900. He had 1 home run during our replay. So for him to get a home run was crazy. So Hoosiers are up 4-2. Buffalo now in the bottom of the 7th. We end up getting a solo shot by our second baseman, Charlie Atherton, who also only had 1 home run during the replay. Now, he did have 6 home runs originally in the year 1900, but he had both these second basemen each get home runs, which is just rare. In the year 1900, you're going to have 2 home runs in a game, but the second basemen who each only had 1 during our replay, it was just crazy. But so it's 4-3. We enter the 9th inning. Win Kellum, the Hoosiers pitcher, has been pitching incredible. We lead off the bottom of the 9th with Doc Andrews. He gets a single. We bring in a pitch runner, Burke, who then steals second. And then we sacrifice bunt. He goes to 3rd. And then Lou Bierbauer, and he hits a single. So now all of a sudden it's tied 4-4. Getman gets a walk, and now we have up Asi Schreckengoss, the catcher for us, who's been our best hitter. He's in 478 or something like that. He's up the bat, runners on first and second, 2 away after a strikeout, and he hits a double to win it. So Buffalo gets the winning run in the bottom of the 9th. And now they lead the series 3-1. I mean, you think, there's a chance the number 7 seed might get a win or 2, but they're up 3-1. This is crazy. They might actually win this whole series, and they keep on doing this crazy stuff. And Indianapolis just seems to have no answer. So, great game. Still sitting there going second baseman's getting home runs, crazy. But end of the day, Buffalo wins, leading the series 3-1. All right, just like the last one, this is a critical game. Number 7 versus the number 2, and the number 7 is the home team, and they're leading the series, and the number 2 seed desperately needs a win here, or it could get ugly for them, and there's a much better chance that they might end up losing the series. So in this one, we got Boston Beaneaters, the number 2 seed in the National League, going against the number 7 Cincinnati Red Stockings. Red Stockings, again, are leading the series 2-1. And so on the mound, the Boston Beaneaters are going to send right-hander Nig Cuppy. He went 11-8. He had a 3.51. He's got, in my opinion, a good decent stats. Only started 13 games. He has pitched a little bit in the playoffs, but has not started a game yet. For Cincinnati, I feel like they got the better pitcher in this one. Noodles Hahn, the southpaw, he won 22 games, went 22-10, had a save. He had a much better 2.70 ERA than Cuppy. He started 41 games, their number one starter. He had 113 strikeouts. I think that's either like, it's got to be top three in the league. And only walked 77 in comparison. And in his first start, he did start a game and then had some relief, but in 10 innings of work, he's only allowed 9 hits and 2 walks. So this is going to be a challenge for Boston for sure. Let's see what ends up happening. All right, game 4, the pivotal game 4. Number 2, Boston Bean Eaters trailing in the series 2-1 behind the Cincinnati Red Stockings, the number 7 seed. Game is in Cincinnati. Cincinnati looking to be able to get up 3-1 with one more game at home and a chance to win the series. Boston desperately wants to get back to their home, and so they need to knot it up. So we jump into the game, and Cincinnati, we jump up early. We get 4 runs in the first 3 innings. Boston, though, comes back, making it 4-3 in the top of the 4th. But Cincinnati, we had a run in the bottom of the 4th. We added 2 in the bottom of the 5th. Boston added one, I think maybe in the top of the 5th or top of the 6th. We added one more in the 6th. But going into the 7th inning, it was 8-4. Boston did get a run in the 7th. We got a run in the 8th. They got a run in the top of the 9th. But that was all they could muster. So at the end of the day, we ended up winning. Cincinnati Red Stockings win 9-6 and now lead the series 3-1. By far, the player of the game was Topsy Hartzell. He went 3 for 4. He had a home run. He had a triple. He had 4 RBIs. He scored a run. He was incredible. But what really matters is Cincinnati, the number 7 seed, just like in the American League, is leading the series 3-1. Who would have thunk it? So let's go ahead and check out the last game, the one that is a chance for a clincher. All right, game 4 between Brooklyn and New York. Brooklyn, the number 1 seed, is leading the series 3-0, have a chance to sweep by winning today. They are the only team that has that chance in game 4 to win the series. So Brooklyn has been very dominant, obviously during the regular season, coming in first place, but then also in the playoffs, showing off very early that they are deserving of the top seed with a 3-0 lead against the number 8 New York Giants. On the mound for Brooklyn will be Joe McGinnity, the right-hander. He went 21-13. He had a save. He went 3.86 ERA. He started 43 games. He did start one game already in game 1, where he gave up only 1 run in a complete game, pitching 9 innings. He did allow 10 hits and a walk. Bill Carrick, ironically, has not started yet for New York, though he was their number 1 starter during the regular season. So they don't start him until game 4. He had 46 games started. He did have a 3.87 ERA. He won 16, lost 18. He has pitched in the postseason with 2 innings pitched. Didn't allow any runs, gave up a hit, gave up a walk. But this is the first time we're going to see Bill Carrick for the New York Giants starting. So let's see. In this game, we're going to be doing highlights instead of doing the recap like we've done for the previous 7. This will actually be a highlight game, so we'll show you special innings and things like that. So let's see what happens. All right, real quick, here is the lineup for Brooklyn. They're going to have 4 Hall of Famers in the lineup. They have Joe Kelly, the third baseman, leading off. Sheckard, the left fielder, batting second. Willie Keeler, the right fielder, will be batting third. Jones, the center fielder, batting fourth. Farrell, the catcher, batting fifth. Dolan, the shortstop, batting sixth. Daly, the second baseman, batting seventh. And Huey Jennings, the first baseman, batting eighth. Joe McGinnity, the pitcher, will be batting ninth. All the Hall of Famers are in the blue, so that should help you be able to know who the Hall of Famers are for each team. For the New York Giants, we have Van Hultgen leading off, the center fielder. Selback, the left fielder, batting second. George Davis, the shortstop, third. Hickman, the third baseman, batting fourth. Smith, the right fielder, batting fifth. Mercer, second base, will be playing second base today, batting sixth. Doyle, first baseman, batting seventh. Warner, the catcher, batting eighth. And then the pitcher, Carrick, will be batting ninth. All right, so we're entering the top of the sixth inning. The score is 1-0. The New York Giants are winning. We got a run in the bottom of the third. off of a single sacrifice bunt and then an error. And so we were able to score there. What I will tell you, though, is defense is definitely playing a part in this game in a positive way, unlike the other game fours that we've seen so far. So far, there's been 2 guys thrown out on stolen bases, and 3 players have been thrown out at home plate, including the 5th inning where both teams had a guy thrown out at the plate. So defense is playing a factor so far in this one. Let's see what happens in the 6th. So the 5th inning has been unlucky for both teams with a runner on third trying to score and is getting thrown out. So the score remains 1-0. We enter the top of the 6th. Willie Keeler is up. He is going to lead off the 6th inning with a single. Bringing up now Jones. He's 1 for 2 with a double. He's hitting .385 during the postseason. He's going to hit a fly ball to center field, so he's going to be out as Van Haltren reels that one in. Next up is Duke Farrell, the catcher. He's hitting .176, and he's going to get a single, and that's going to be easy for Keeler to go to third. So runners on the corners. Dolan is up the shortstop. So 1-0 game, and oh no. The pitch gets away from the catcher Warner, and that is going to be a run unearned. So Dolan's up. He's been on base twice with a walk and a single, and he's going to get another single. Farrell's going to be able to score. They get their 2nd run of the game. They now lead 2-1 with 2 runs in the 6th inning. And here's Daly. He's going to draw a walk. Carrick, who's been looking good so far in this game, is suddenly now in some jeopardy. So here's Hugh Jennings. He's the Hall of Famer. He's going to hit a ground ball to Doyle. Doyle's going to have to make a play. He does. He takes it himself, tags the base, putting runners on 2nd and 3rd with the pitcher McGinnity up. And we get a pitcher's card, a single. We got to throw for the lead runner. We cannot get him. So 2 more runs are scored. And here is Joe Kelly, top of the order, 2 down. He has been on base every time. He's got a single. He got on 2nd with an error and then a triple. So he's been having a good game. He's going to hit a fly ball to right field. Smith is going to have to make a play. He does. And that's finally going to end the inning. But damage is done as Brooklyn comes storming back 4-1. And it is bottom of the 6th. McGinnity is controlling us for sure. And that's his another strikeout, or his first strikeout of the game, 2nd one of postseason. Here's Davis. He's going to get a single. We got to take advantage of the speed that we have whenever we can. Here's Hickman. He's going to hit a ground ball to first. That's going to be an out. 2 down. Here's Smith. He's 0 for 2. He's hitting .385. He's going to draw a walk. Now bringing up Mercer, who's only hitting .182. And he is not, and I repeat, not very good in the clutch. But we're still going to let him hit. He's going to hit a ground ball to first base. Jennings, a Hall of Famer, is not able to pull this one in. That is going to be the 3rd error on Brooklyn. Bases are juiced. Doyle is up, the first baseman. He's hitting .286. He only has 1 RBI in the postseason. He is going to come through with a single. We're going to try to send the lead runner. We get it. So we get 2 runs here. Now it's 4-3. Warner is up, the catcher. He's 1 for 2. He's hitting .231 in the playoffs. And he's going to hit a ground ball back to the pitcher McKinney. He's able to take that one. And that's going to end the inning. But now we got a contest. 4-3, a big 6th inning for both teams. All right, so here we go. Bottom of the 9th. Score still 4-3. Brooklyn needs 3 outs to wrap up the series and sweep the New York Giants. Joe McKinney still on the mound. He's only allowed 5 hits. The only runs he gave up was in that 1 inning that we already showed in the 6th. But in the top of the 9th, another guy got thrown out, this time at third base. It's just been a constant theme that's been going on in this game. So let's go ahead and check out the bottom of the 9th. And we go into the bottom of the 9th. New York trails 1. We have our 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up. I guarantee Dummy Taylor will be pitch hit for. Warner is going to lead us off. He is hitting 214 during the postseason. He is 1 for 3 today. He's going to lead off with a pop out. That's not what we want. Time to figure out who we're going to pitch hit for Taylor. All right, so left-handed batter, Cy Seymour is going to come in. He is 0 for 2 in the postseason so far, but we're hoping that he can get a hit here. And he does. He rips a single to right field. He is on base. So we're going to bring in a pitch runner now real quick. All right, with 1 out, we're going to bring Murphy in to pinch run for Seymour, who got a big hit. We are going to attempt to steal, and they're not even going to try to get him. So he is on second. We're going to try to steal third. And again, he gets a good jump. He is there safely. So we were able to advance Murphy on 2 stolen bases. Van Haltren's up. He's 0 for 4. He's hitting 250 in the playoffs. He is our leadoff man. We need a hit to keep the game alive. The ball's going to be hit to Kelly, the Hall of Fame third baseman. And it's going to be a single in air, and we tie it up. But the inning is not over yet. We're going to try to steal with Van Haltren, and he's going to be pegged out at third by Duke Farrell. And Kip Selbach is going to pop up to end the inning, but the critical and crucial run has been made. So the game is going into extra innings. We need to find a new pitcher. All right, you thought the game was going to be over. I know you did. I did too, but the game's not over. We're in extra innings. Who's going to end up taking it? We're going to watch the rest of the game till it's over. Is the Giants going to be able to prolong the series by winning, or will Brooklyn get the sweep and finish them off? Let's see what ends up happening. All right, up at the 10th, we're bringing in the very tired Pink Hawley. He doesn't have much left. He just pitched, but we don't have much of a guys in the bullpen, so he's going to be facing Jones. Jones is going to lead off with a single. So here comes Farrell, the catcher. He's 1 for 4 today, and he gets hit by a pitch. Runners on first and second. Dolan's up. He's going to have fly ball to right field. I'm assuming Jones is going to tag up here. He does not. Must have been shallow enough. Here's Daly. He's 2 for 3, hitting 267 in the playoffs. And we are going to throw him out on the steal. So Daly is now up 2 outs. Farrell on second. He's going to draw a walk, bringing up Huey Jennings, who's 0 for 4, hitting 400 though in the playoffs. He's going to rip a single to center field. We're going to try to make a play at the home. And Farrell is out at home. Man, that is like the 3rd or 4th runner who's been thrown out at home. And now we enter the bottom of the 10th. Davis is up, our number 3 hitter. He's 1 for 3, hitting 467 in the playoffs. He's going to draw a walk. You best believe he's going to be stealing. And he gets there, just gets there. He needed a 16 or less. He gets the 16. Here's Hickman. Actually, we're going to try to steal again. This time, though, he's thrown out. We pushed our luck. Hickman then is struck out. Smith's up. He's going to hit a ground ball to third base. Kelly's going to have to make a play. It is a single and an error. So we have a runner on second. Here's Mercer. They finally decide to bring in a new pitcher. Waring is coming in as we are starting to get on base. And Mercer's going to hit a single. We are sending the runner. This could be the game. And another throw out at home. 5 times guys have been thrown out at home. This is incredible. Here's Gus Waring. They're going to bring in Doc Casey. He's going to get hit by a pitch, of course. That's all. They bring in a pitch runner. Joe Kelly's up. They do the hit and run. Here's Sheckard, who's 0 for 5. And it's going to be a walk. Bases are loaded. We Will It Killer's up. He's 3 for 5. He's hitting 500 in the playoffs. He's got 5 RBIs. He is by far the best hitter. I believe he was the best hitter in the entire major league, hitting 400. And here we go. Hawley versus Keeler. Ground ball to short. Davis cannot make the play. And the infield drawn in. So 2-run score as Wee Willie Keeler comes through in the top of the 11th. And now Jones gets his second double of the game. They are going to add another 2 runs. No out still. We need to bring in a new pitcher. We're bringing in the old man, Chris D. Mathewson, who at this point of his career was very old. We're going to throw for the runner. He's going to steal third. Duke Barrel's still. They're still looking to add some more runs. And we're able to keep him on third. So 1 down. Here's Dolan. He's going to hit a fly ball to right field. Is it deep enough? This time, finally, a run scores. 5 runs in the inning, 2 down. This game has just gotten ugly at Polo Grounds. Polo Grounds 2, just to be clear. That's going to end the inning finally. So here we are. Bottom of the 11th, Giants need a bunch of runs here. Doyle's going to have to lead us off. He's going to start us off, all right, with a single. We're going to go ahead and try to steal. And thrown out. Line out to first. Mathewson's up. We got to bring in a pitch hitter. Going to bring in Kid Gleason. Gleason could keep us alive, and he does not. That is going to not only end the game, it is going to end the series as New York gets swept by Brooklyn in a great game. Man, that was fun, even though we were on the losing end. All right, so that completes all of the game 4s. Let's check the playoffs and see how everything stands. Chicago won 5-2, so they lead the series 3-1. Detroit won 6-0 as they blanked Milwaukee, so they lead the series 3-1. Cleveland came back and tied the series with their 11-7 victory over Kansas City. And the potential major upset, Buffalo, the number 7 seed, won 5-4 over the number 2 Hoosiers. And so now Buffalo, the number 7 seed, is up 3-1, and they play at home in Game 5 in the National League. We see our first team to advance to the league semifinals as Brooklyn came and won in the 11th inning to sweep the New York Giants. Pittsburgh, they won 5-2, so now they lead the series 3-1. St. Louis, they were leading. Philadelphia came and took a win at home, so now they've tied the series 2-2. And then, just like we said in the American League, the number 7, it's a chance to win it in Game 5 at home as the number 7 leads the series 3-1 in the National League as well, as Cincinnati won 9-6, now lead 3-1 over Boston. So that's where we all stand. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, this is Coach DK.